they gain about a pound a year. So if you catch a 10-pound fish and you take it out, then you've deprived anyone else in this room from being able to catch that fish. Put it back, let it grow, let it go. If it dies all day, so what? We're all going to do that.
They have remarkable molds nowadays that match pretty much anything you want to put on the wall. And just like John was saying, it's always great to put that fish back because we have a lot of young anglers that are coming up nowadays. And I do a lot of children's events, and to me, there's nothing better than seeing the eyes on a child when they light up as big as a silver dollar when they catch a 10-pound fish.
And remember, a healthy fish actually sinks to the bottom. People say, oh, the fish didn't die, they're still here. You know, actually they die, but a healthy fish sinks to the bottom. Your sick fish, lack of oxygen, all those type of pH level things, those are the floaters. When you see them floating, that's something like that's happened. So, you know, it's quite common that fish will just die on a daily, weekly, monthly basis if it's that time, and you won't ever know it.
It depends on what you're really actually going for. Bass fishing around here, you have the Harris Chain of Lakes, you have Rodman, you have the St. Johns River, you have Lake Kerr, you have an abundance of lakes around this area that you can go and fish. Some of them have easy access and some of them are hard to get into. With the water being down right now, you have to use caution on some of them because of ramps. Once they end and you get a lot of guys that power load the bigger boats, it does blow out the back section of the ramps. So you do have to use caution on some of those. Some of the better lakes around here, the Harris Chain of Lakes, that's a great chain of lakes. I mean, there's a lot of those lakes. Early in the morning and late in the afternoon seem to be your better bites, but they'll bite top water all day long. So,
how about Panasofsky?
Excuse me?
Panasofsky?
Lake Panasofsky is it's come back. I mean, it was, before they did the dredging over there, probably, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe? Five, six, seven? Yeah, they were having a hard time over there, but when they did the dredging, it did bring Panasofsky back.
Put on a bullet weight with a worm, anything with a little weight on it, throw it out to the middle or a corner, anyway, just dissect the lake, throw it out, count 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and your line will go slack. When your line goes slack, you've hit the bottom. You can do that 3 or 4 locations on a small body of water, and you can almost in your mind tell what you've got in that body of water. If you're, you know, you're 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, you hit bottom here and you hit 3 over here, you're going to now all of a sudden start to tell you contour, and then, as these guys found out, you're going to now find sweet spots, because now every time you've hit that, you know, 1,000, 4,000, boom, that's the hot spot. So on smaller bodies of water, that's what we try to do. We try to dissect them that way, especially when you're fishing from the shore, and kind of do that. And you'll find rock piles, anything you can bump. Let me tell you, a bass, you're in an open body of water, anything you can bump, a blade of grass, a rock, a tree limb, a palm frond, whatever you got, they'll hang to it, especially on just an old type of body of water.
Don't be afraid to go into some of the lakes that you fish, and at the end of the year, if you have live Christmas trees, don't just go out there and flood the water with them, but go out and create your own brush piles, you know. Take old Christmas trees. They love any kind of bush that puts out a lot of oxygen, you know.
Or even better, go fish somebody else's Christmas tree.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, experts.
Lake Weir it's a deep structure lake, and if you stay offshore, your chances are going to be a lot better. Just cruise around and basically look for the brush piles, drop-offs, the outer edges. You'll find a lot of drop-offs. You'll find a lot of structure out in the lake. With Lake Weir, you'll catch a lot of small fish on the banks up close, but your bigger fish are definitely going to be out further. John, he could tell you a little bit more about that.
Well, I came down here from the Carolinas, so I came from a structure-oriented fishing. Weir is a structure-oriented lake. Look for your breaks, your drop-offs, anywhere from 6 to 10 foot, and somewhere on that break line. If you want to go online, do a search for Buck Perry. Okay, he was the father of structure fishing. If you know anything about where structure fishing oriented from, he was the father of it. You know, that is where you're going to find your fish. He always said depth and speed. Right depth, right speed, you'll catch fish.
One of the good worms to use on that lake is it's called Fire and Ice, and it's made by Culprit. Also, Red Belly Glitter by Bass Assassin is a fantastic worm on that lake.
Yeah. Can anybody guess how much over that period the fish moved in one day? How far did he travel? Free bag of worms for the winner.
Couple hundred yards.
Half a
4.
mile.
Keep going. Nobody said it yet.
28 foot.
Nope. Nope. Averaged over a year. Remember, times a year he stays close, other times he cruises. Get close.
10 miles.
Nope. 6. There it is. 6 miles. The average fish traveled 6 miles per day in a year. So how do they stay so stout? Why do they fight so hard? It's like a lot of muscle mass. We have shallow lakes. They don't do this transition thing. They run after bait. They go around and around that lake and they follow it. So that's where you really need to understand. And I think it's all the lakes in Florida basically travel that way. You won't find them transition much. They don't live their whole life in one cove. These fish move a lot. Nope.
It's not calling.
Number one factor. Close?
Depth.
Nope.
Delay.
Confidence. Confidence. Undoubtedly the number one thing. You pick your favorite color. If you send us out tomorrow with one pole, one bait, we're all going to come over here, pick a different color, a different bait, and we swear we're going to win. It's only because we caught fish on it before. It's the same reason that you go into the Bass Pro Shops and all those outdoor world places, and they've got all those lure that hook fishermen. And really not that many fish. And the ones that do hook fish are the ones that you use, because the rest of them are all in your catalogs. Because when you do finally get the chance to go fishing, you want the one that's working. It's the same one you always throw.
What? If I'm on Toho or Jackson, I'm throwing wilds. If I go to Butler, I can kill them with domestics.
And that's because you're matching more of the
Matching
cat
the hatch
on that
size.
particular body of water.
on hooks and line on your gear.
They're trying to create a fight here. That's good. I'll let you all get at the end of
It does make a difference. I mean, the reason they sell a million different products is because everybody's going to use a different product. There are applications for every product that's out there. If I'm fishing, if I'm flipping in an area where there's a lot of grass or a lot of pads, I'm going to use braid. Braid, it's almost impossible to break it. You're going to cut through grass, you're going to cut through weeds. If I'm fishing open water, I'm pretty much going to go to fluorocarbon if I'm fishing underneath. If I'm throwing a topwater bait, I'm going to go with mono. So it really just depends on what you're fishing and the type of fishing you're doing.
Me personally, I use, John will tell you, pretty much Berkeley Big Game. I've had days where I've had clients side by side. One had the white line, one had the green line. The green line was catching fish like crazy. The white line wasn't touching anything. So I have everything on the green line, and that's about it. Don't listen to Todd here, because you saw him trying to pitch in the corner, and he can't even hit the
He couldn't hit the wall.
I knew I'd get you.
I'm like Todd. I don't think color matters near as much, especially with the color of baits. Basic hues, light colors, dark colors, light days, dark days, clear water, light colors, that type thing. I don't think line has anything, the only way I can tell you it would make a difference is you put him in the boat and he's fishing, and all of a sudden he's catching the heck out of fish, and we swap rods, and now I start catching and he's not, then it's making a difference. 90% of the time, he's fishing the right depth and speed, and I'm not.
Yeah, he answered depth and speed really good. The other thing I'll add to that, what these guys already had, is anybody know who Rick Flynn is? The world famous guy, bass fisherman, world, multi-pole world champion. I got to fish with him, and we talked about several of these different things. And one of the comments was very similar to what they said, is that I said, hey, what about, you picking this guy's brain, you were the champ, So I said, what about green flake? What about red flake? He says, let me tell you something. He says, I've sat on the front of this boat and had the best anglers in the world on the back with me. And I've never, ever had a person catch fish here with red flake and somebody not here with green flake. It's all for the fishermen. So, depth and speed, shades of color important. Hold on to it long. There you go. So it's the reason for the scent is not make them smell, oh, pizza. No, it's so when they bite it, instead of getting, when the bait flies out, you're clicking over your bail, he's already swam over and hit it, the fish holds on to it a little bit longer because he's like, that tastes good. So he hangs on to it. That's why we use scent.
What's the name of that?
Bang. B-A-N-G. You can put multiple baits on it. And there again, we talk about different baits, rattle traps, line sizes. This bait's good for about 20% of the year, meaning that this is kind of when a fish is suspended. He's kind of on that shelf. Maybe if the lake is 12 feet deep, it's 1 or 2 feet on the shallow. There's probably a 4 to 6 foot drop somewhere where it falls off on his first ledge. When he's on that ledge, suspended out there, this is the baby you throw across, because now he's looking for a school of bait out there. Most technically, that's what's happening is the bait are running down. They're not surface bait. They're bait that run in schools underneath the water. And so you take this and it comes across this way, but of course they're standing straight out, and it resembles a school of bait. Now, trick with this, it looks awesome. 5 hooks. I mean, there's been talk of catching 5 fish at once. There again, this is hooks more fishermen than hooks than fish. But it is a good bait. Now here's the key. You just can't pick this up and throw it out. No different than that rubber worm or anything else we've talked about tonight. This, you need to match these baits. I was just down in the Everglades in a tournament this past weekend, and so I had those green colors. There's a tannic color water down there. There's a lot of these Asian type panfish down there, a lot of non-exotics type thing. And these matched it quite well, and that's why I put those on. If you were up in the Conway chain or Butler chain where they're starting to go into a shad feed, then you'd want probably more of a light color or